I don't know, man. There's some really weird stuff going on when it comes to all of this. Have you ever heard of Jake from Rattle Snake TV? I mean, sure, it's like kind of PG material because it is on YouTube after all, right? But he does touch on sensitive topics in this video, and I would sincerely suggest you check it out because, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we all know that this is complete and total utter BS, right? Sometimes, though, the most realistic answer is the one that's right in front of you. And it sure seems to me like maybe if this list got out in the context that it's in, people are going to jump to their own conclusions, and even innocent people who didn't do anything might be prosecuted and accused of things in the long run. Here, I'm going to show you this last clip, and it's of Andrew Tate. I know, everybody's favorite. But I found it quite interesting because I do think he's onto something here.
It's another one to really think about. Anyways, what else might be going on here? Well, people are going to screech and say, Andrew Tate, you can't trust what he says, but whether or not you like the guy, you have to admit that his take on this from a little while back is pretty spot on.
Money is the driving force behind all politics. It always will be, because it is your primary objective to not only make people believe they can be rich, but to keep your rich people happy, to keep your oligarchy happy, and to keep them politically invested in you. So you talk about the Epstein list. I would argue it's a very similar scenario. It's all about money. It's all about who has the money and controlling the money. Is America as a country prepared to upset all of its richest people? I don't know. Is it? Is it prepared to upset all of its richest people to appease bloodthirsty brokies who don't even care about justice? They just want the drama. Another question, because I would argue that the murders that happen every day on the street are very interesting, but no one cares about that. MS-13 and all this shit, no one really cares about that. But this Epstein list they really care about. They want justice, sure, but it's a drama. It's interesting. They want to find out. They're curious. And I'm asking you as a professional, you're in charge of a country. Your primary objective is to keep your oligarchy happy, to keep the wealth inside of your nation, and to make them obey you when it comes to sanctions and such other things. And to ensure that the US dollar becomes and stays the predominant currency globally. There's a bunch of bloodthirsty brokies on the internet who barely pay taxes who want to go through a list. Who are you going to prioritize? Who do you care about? I'm not saying it's fair, but anyone who believes the legal systems are fair is a dumbass anyway, because the legal system's never been fair. There's always been a who are you involved in all legal cases. So when you talk about the Epstein things, I sit and think it's all money orientated. Because broke people like to think that rich people should be held accountable like broke people. And that's a great idea, but guess what? They're not. They're not. Rich people have a different capability to fight against legal cases than a broke person. They can have better lawyers. They have better media spin. They have PR. They have news outlets. I'm not talking about myself because I'm not rich like these people. These people own news networks. They can affect public sentiment, which affects a jury, which affects their case. This is the bottom line of it. At the top level, at the top echelon of fame and money, legal cases aren't even about law. They're just a circus. If they pick you up, it's only deliberately to attack your image. It's not even about law at that point, like Trump. It was only to attack his image. With me, it was to attack my image. They didn't give a shit they got a conviction. They got a shit about keeping me in a country where I couldn't work, trying to take away all my money, and slandering me every day on the news. That's all they wanted to do. So you have to analyze these things as a professional and understand you're talking about the most powerful people in the world on this list, perhaps. And you're asking, why has the list not come out? I would argue that the most powerful people in the world, if they have half a brain, are talking to Cash and Pam and saying, look, maybe this is on, maybe I'm on that list, maybe I did something bad, but also look at all the good I've done, this. You want to appease a few Twitter autists, but it's going to have this consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence. And then as a rational adult, there's rational conversations to have. And rational conversations are about subjectivity and compromise. It's not about sitting and saying, that's the law, so that's what we're going to do, da-da-da. And that's what we all like to believe, that the law is the law and we all stick to the law. Doesn't work that way.
So he makes a really good point there. Who do you think that the rich and powerful and the elites are really seeking to protect? Do you think it's the rich and powerful and the elites, or do you think it's the independent journalists who want to read the Epstein list? I know who I think they're protecting, but the best take that I've heard from anybody actually came from this Christian pastor.
What I think is happening, two things. One, despite what the media has told you, I do trust this administration. That's just me. I don't think they are a well-oiled machine of liars. I think these are good people. I think Levitt and Bondi and Trump, I know many disagree with that. I don't think they are what the media paints them to be. And now they have to lie, and they're doing a horrible job. They should never have released the surveillance video. That was debunked so quickly. So what I think is happening, we are up against a principality of hell. These are chief prince rulers of darkness that govern the trafficking and pedophilia world in ways that we don't even want to imagine. If that list was released, I believe nations could be brought down, not just our favorite movie stars. So if nothing else, this whole thing should bring us to our knees. It should drive us to our knees in prayer, because what's happening is not of this world.
So a really good take there. I think that if you look at the broader picture here, it's very hard to understand exactly what's going on in the four walls there. And perhaps Trump and Patel and Bongino and all of these guys had the best of intentions, even Pam Bondi. But then when they get into office, they realize the magnitude of this story and just how much of a nuclear bomb this really could be. And for that reason, they've had to suppress it. We don't really know. Maybe we'll find out. But anyways, guys, don't forget to check out Fume just below. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to watch another one, right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.